IBIS project. The Innovative, Sustainable and Integrated Bus. Abstract. The paper presents the results of studies on sustainable mobility conducted by a multidisciplinary research group. The aim of the activity is to design and assemble a totally modular and innovative bus. This vehicle, designed for sustainable mobility in Italian cities and sites of monumental artistic interest, is equipped with the latest generation of electric motors and batteries. It will therefore be made with environmentally friendly materials. The project aligns with the most recent European research lines on the theme Building an Integrated Intelligent Transport System. The methodological approach used is oriented towards the creation of a collaborative ecosystem between researchers and companies for the definition of a working prototype. The work is in line with the European Guide on Eco-Sustainability of Products. The reduction of pollution in urban centers and the so-called circular economy that minimizes the risk of non-recyclable waste. The project includes the main specialized multidisciplinary sectors. Keywords: modularity, sustainability, recyclability, versatility. Introduction. In recent years there have been numerous specialized contributions offered by research related to the sustainable mobility sector that have proposed new models oriented towards the environment, aimed at experimenting with solutions and operational methods with the aim of rethinking sustainable mobility. This orientation is always impregnated by an innovative perspective, which tends to contextualize the approach, adapting it to the state-of-the-art of urban infrastructures and to the requirements indicated by current environmental policies. At the same time, inexorably, the harmful effects caused to the indiscriminate use of resources to the environment have shown the limits of the previous model of industrial development linked to the logic of the exploitation of renewable energy sources. Consequently, this approach has had a negative impact on the socio-economic development of the industry and, in particular, on the automotive sector. In this scenario, it is crucial for the automotive industry to identify a new and more coherent motivation that combines new mobility needs with sustainable design and production practices. This orientation, unfortunately, is not completely exhaustive for the definitive implementation of sustainable mobility models, as it would require a fundamental revision of the approach that has been maintained until now, integrating the different actors participating in the new sustainable approach with the current urban infrastructure system that is not yet adequate. In fact, it is evident that the seniority of urban infrastructures, roads, parking lots, pedestrian zones, does not allow the ecological mobility manager to benefit from all the sustainable options defined in the design, production and use of means of transport. Therefore, when approaching sustainable mobility, it will be essential not only to pay the utmost attention to the green characteristics of powertrains and energy accumulators, but above all, to operate with the greatest consistency of strategic and planning options in a more complex and integrated mobility system which also includes the various alternative modes of transport. In the last 2 years, a great driving force has been given by the promulgation of a decree that has significantly opened the legislative horizon on ecological prospects at the same level as those of other European countries, and in particular, the legislative decree of the 16th of December 2016, and Decree 257, specialized in the creation of an alternative fuels infrastructure with entry into force of the law starting from the 14th of January 2017. Italian scenario of sustainable mobility, with reference to the mobility scenario of our country. Of particular interest is the statistical data emerged on the report prepared by the Centro Studios for Higher Institute of Training and Research for Transport. The results emerged from the analysis of data with reference to passenger transport. Describe how the movements of Italians are decreasing in percentage despite the increase in the use of private cars to the detriment of public transport and therefore as a result of the environment. In the biennium 2017-18, Italians have spent over 40 million hours traveling for the travels. Mobility has also been reduced due to the effects of the crisis, but the share of transport on private vehicles has increased. The data previously described highlight the need to operate on the aging of the circulating vehicle fleet, according to the ANFIA. National Association of Automotive Industry Factories elaborations on the data of the Transport Archive of the Ministry of Transport. The bus market by type is as follows. 1547 buses plus 14.3% on 2014, 124 minibuses plus 9.7%, 487 minibuses plus 39.5%. Another significant figure is represented by the ecological share represented by green vehicles out of 2,420 new registrations. The electric traction bus sold were only 35 and those with natural gas 92, representing therefore only 5.2% of the total. However, these values, albeit small, showed a significant growth trend as the installations of green infrastructures, such as public recharging points, increased in total by about 1,000 units in the course of 2018. These European values demonstrate how the European transport system has not been able to operate independently the reduction of its environmental weight on the global economy. In terms of environmental protection and protection of the health of the inhabitants of urban and extra-urban areas. A model of sustainable mobility. The IBIS case. In this scenario we insert our research and experimentation contribution focused on the objective of designing and building an eco-oriented bus as a product system for urban passenger mobility to be carried out in the historic centers of our cities. The project proposal of the vehicle IBIS Innovative Bus Integrated and Sustainable is based on the concept of an innovative urban bus design and production platform. The goal is to provide a means of transport for sustainable, collective and competitive urban mobility. The approach used in the research has made possible a design and production process, which had the objective of maximizing the benefits, environmental and economic linked to the industrial development of the carrier. The research and experimentation project focuses on the following areas of research and experimentation. Definition of functional and morphological aspects of the main vehicle components. Study of the frame module, body panels, interior coverings and furnishings. Study of eco-oriented materials to be selected for vehicle components. Analysis of the assembly and disassembly methods of the components. Study of propulsion and power supply solutions, engines, batteries, onboard electronics. Definition of production technologies for the optimization of the production cycle. Particular attention was paid to the definition of an abacus of eco-oriented materials for the realization of the components and the internal and external finish of the vehicle. The design of particular devices, body panels, and the functional parts, interior panels, roof pavilions and finishing elements, has been integrated into the experimentation of a polymer matrix material with appropriate structural reinforcements, oriented in the directions of maximum mechanical stress, which confer strength and rigidity in specific points. This part of the research, conducted by the Institute of Polymers, Composites and Biomaterials, IPCB, of the National Research Council, CNR, of Naples, concerned the engineering of polymeric and cellulose materials and thermoplastic polymers based, treated with traditional methods, manual lamination, stacking, molding, compression molding, and nanocomposites with specific mechanical characteristics and eco-oriented properties. the modular structure and a production platform. The IBUS project is structured around the concept of an evolved modular platform and consists of sub-modules that aggregate, making possible different functional configurations of the bus, optimization of production processes and materials used. The approach to this operating model is not unpublished in the automotive panorama, as it was developed following the economic crisis of the 80s by US and European car manufacturers. In particular, this methodological operational approach was tested and implemented following the adoption of practices of the lean product development, particularly in Japan, where they have increased the use of outsourcing, transferring to the development of suppliers an increasing number of components in the automotive sector. The standardization of the module concept is intended as a reproposition in the compositional schemes of common elements, with the definition of a product platform that allows the creation of a family of products characterized by a structural and facility. A platform can therefore be defined as the basic mechanical structure of the car on which to build more diversified typological models: berliner, station wagon, SUV, sport utility vehicle. Conclusion. The research carried out in the IBUS project made it possible to realize a vehicle with electric power and alternative propulsion with a modular compositional scheme, and to evaluate its benefits both in terms of sustainable design and in relation to the economic balance of design construction costs. The expected result was validated by the performance of the real-scale and functioning project vehicle simulator as a further demonstrator of the effectiveness of the design approach. The project aims to achieve the following results: support a dialogue between different scientific disciplines in which to share experiences of integrated research, supporting the competitiveness of companies through design methodologies oriented to the overall sustainability of the design and production process. Experiment with new production models to optimize production in the automotive sector.